Girishama, Veena, Shivoham. Good evening, Motkula, Anand, and Leena. I don't see Leena. Girish, Komal, Shivashankar, Siva, Bridget, Shivoham, and welcome to the call. Reena, Yoga Narsiman, Karthik, and the rest of you. Because I don't see your images, I welcome you without calling your names out, because those who are not on video, we don't know whether you're in front of the screen or not. But well, today we have an interesting conversation, I hope. A little different, not the same type of conversation, because we talk about basic subjects so often. But today the question that I was posed and I shared with you, what are the three roads? What are the three roads that will take us to our ultimate destination? What are the three roads that will take us to our ultimate destination? So anybody wants to attempt this? What are the three roads that will take us to our ultimate destination? Who would like to try? Three roads. Three roads that will take us to our ultimate destination. What are the three roads? Focus on the word destination. The clue I'm giving you. Focus on the word destination. Did you get somebody making a comment? Yes. What are any written comment?
Self-realization, Komal.
Okay, self-realization. You want three roads.
Here, may I?
Letting go of vices. Okay, that's Reena's input. Constant letting go of vices. Good. Sangam Gupta says.
Trying to come on.
Dhyana yoga, Shivom, Dhyana yoga, Bhakti yoga, Jnana yoga.
There are four. That is the four yogas. Karma yoga, Bhakti yoga, Jnana yoga, Dhyana yoga. They are the four ways to be in yoga, to be in union. Good, very good input. But today we are looking at something else. Today we are trying to look at something which I learned about 5 years back, and I'm sharing with you. What are those three roads that take us to our destination?
Pranam Guruji.
Pranam. Shivoham. Bolo Komal. Bolo Kiran. Bolo Kiran.
Sarvana, Manan, and Nidhyasana.
Shravana, Manana, Nidhyasana. Very good. Very good. But it's not the answer which is in my mind, but it's a very good because it's three, no? Unlike Sangam Gupta came with four. So then it's not four, it's three. And so Kiran says, Shravana, first you read, Manana, you understand and introspect and contemplate, Nidhyasana, you experience. Very good answer. But I'm looking for another answer, Kiran.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm looking for another answer. Anybody wants to try before I give you the answer? Dattatray.
Yes,
sir.
Shivam to all.
Shivam, sir.
Yes. I feel AIR, ask, investigate, and realize.
Okay. That is the English version of Shravana, Manana, Nidhyasana. Ask, investigate, realize. Good. Again, very good answer. Three, and relevant to the topic. It is AIR, easy to remember, because all the time it is ask air, but it is air is to ask, to investigate, to realize. But what are the three roads that will make us realize? What are the three roads that will take us to the destination? Girish, you want to say something?
It is Viveka, discrimination.
I can't hear you. Huh?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you know, I can hear you. Go ahead.
It is Viveka, discrimination, mumukshutva,
That is again 4. That is Viveka, Vairagya, Shat Shampat, Mumukshutva. That
yes,
is discrimination, dispassion, discipline, and desire for the divine. That is 4.
yes,
You know why? Okay, let me give this to you. You know why it is important for us to be in this mode. Let me explain to you why it is important for us to be in this mode of acronyms and to remember 3 and know it. Many of you know it. I've heard it from me before, but I'm telling you, road number 1 is called purification. Road number 2, illumination. And road number 3, unification. This takes you to your destination. Sudeep, you've heard this before or no?
Yes, sir, I've heard it. Yes, sir.
Okay. So the 3 roads, I gave you the clue. What is our destination? Our destination is unification. How do we reach unification? That's the final road. The first, what Reena said, giving up of vices. It is called purification. Are you ready to purify your life? Are you ready to make your life pure? Suppose your life is full of anger, envy, hate, revenge, jealousy, greed. How can you attain enlightenment? How can you reach destination? So the first step of life is purification. So Bridget, the first is purification. The second, when there is purification, what happens? When there is purification, there is illumination. If the mirror is dirty, can you see the picture? If there's a thick layer of dust on the mirror, can you see? You can't. When does the image come? When does the picture come? When you clean the mirror. So there is first purification. After purification, there is illumination. And after illumination, there is unification. Unification with the divine. And that is our destination. You know, I'm getting one more small, I think there are 2 or 3 questions that have come to me in the last 24 hours on God. Yesterday, I happened to go to an ICU. For whatever reason, I happened to go to an ICU. And there's one man who's telling the doctor, you know, my father, he woke up in the morning, he has no memory. He doesn't know who I am. What to do, doctor? What to do, doctor? My father doesn't recognize me. How can I live? My father is asking me, who are you? Now, can anybody explain what is this? I think they call it Alzheimer's, right? If I'm not mistaken, it's called Alzheimer's. Then in the next bed, another patient is saying, doctor, from 2 days, urine is stopped. No urine from 2 days. Now, we human beings, we don't realize the power called God. We think God is some statue, God is in church or temple. We don't understand the meaning of God. There's a power. There's a power that can make me, I can lose my voice now. If my vocal cord, which is like a thin strand of hair, if my thin vocal cord goes like this, I'll be dumb. I can't talk. There are people who get up in the morning one day and they can't see. They're blind. What happened? They lost their sight. Something happened. They lost their ability to see. Do we count our blessings? Do we sometimes, you know, it's very important for us to count our blessings and to realize there's a power. A lot of people think to talk about God is old-fashioned. Oh, what you're talking about God? Yeah. Oh, what is this God business? Yeah, come on. Because we are mixing religion and spirituality. We are mixing because then today every saint they becomes a god. Every man calls himself Deva, and we get confused. Who are these gods? When in reality we are all nothing but the manifestation of the divine. That we don't understand. People want powers. People come and tell me, can you please teach me how to get siddhis? Now, what is Siddhi? I want power. What power? I want to do miracles. This is the condition we are in. Well, with that note, I think we should get on to question answers, because yesterday also we had to end abruptly. I had to leave, unfortunately, 10 minutes before. But I hope today, with the will of God, we will have a full session of question answers. So yesterday we spoke about an interesting thing called the enlightenment grid. If anybody wants to ask questions on that grid from 0 to 100, and this week we are also asking the question, where are you on the journey? So we are preparing on this. Can I right now hand over the questions to those of you who are wanting to ask yesterday's questions on today's 3 roads to destination, the question on God. We have many things on the table, many subjects on the table to discuss. But the first question is from Jyotri. So the first question, always Jyotri seems to be the question champion. Every time Jyotri wants to ask the first question. But I think we have 1 or 2 more questions coming up. Answer, I am the divine soul. The purpose of life is to realize self and God, and to escape the cycle of birth and rebirth. I request you to give me the further question.
To ask questions in life. First 2 questions of who am I and why am I here?
Where is it?
2 days back, yes.
Okay. So, yes, the purpose, who am I and why am I here? Is that the question that was to be answered? So Jyotri asked the question, who am I? So this is the first question on spirituality. The first question Jyotri is asking, who am I? Is we think I am I. So will you point at somebody and say, that is I? No, that is not I, that is you. Correct? There's a difference between you and me. But we use the word me, but in spirituality, you have learned a new definition of me. Me is the mind and ego me. So when other people says me, those who are on this Ask Air call, you read it in a very different way. Oh, me, mind and ego, me. Correct? But who am I? I have tried to teach people very simple. Contemplate on birth and contemplate on death. You will realize you are not the body. Because when you die, the body will die. You will depart. People say you passed away. People will burn your body. So you're not the body. You were conceived first, then the body was formed. You are not the body. So the first thing to understand, who am I? If I'm not the body, then who am I? To realize I am not me, mind and ego. That's an illusion. I am the divine soul. So Jyotri, that is the first question. And the second question, why am I here? The purpose of life. How many people are asking this question? Huh? In Bombay, the thing, Dattatreya, what people tell in Bombay? Maja, maja karo. Maja, maja karo. Maja, maja. Everybody says, maja karo, maja.
How pure?
How pure jivan. So it is unfortunate people don't know the meaning. What is the purpose of life? So the purpose of life is to discover the purpose of life. The purpose of life is to discover the purpose of life. And that is, we are here to be liberated from the cycle. We are here to realize that we are the divine soul. That is the ultimate goal. So Jyotri, there are many questions. He requests us to give further questions. So you will give us questions, Jyotri. We will give you answers. So please let us know your question. But right now, Reena is asking a question. So we are moving on to Reena's question. How do we measure our progress on this grid towards destination? Is there any quiz of set of measures? So Reena, progress on the grid. So it's like this. So if suppose you meet somebody and that person is so arrogant, so egoistic. So what do you know? There are people whom you meet who will say, you know who I am? Do you know who I am? Do you know? What do you feel that person is? That person is at 0. Because that person who's talking with so much arrogance and so much pride doesn't realize that next moment if he dies, the body will not be worth even 5 rupees. Because you have to, it'll be a liability because you have to burn the body. It's not worth anything. The point is that you have to, therefore in the grid we spoke about ignorance, overcoming ignorance, going on a quest, then finding out, getting the basic knowledge. See, today people are learning knowledge of computers, biotechnology. So many, today there are so many super specialties. What is the great deal? You become a super specialist in a subject. You become a great software engineer. You earn money, correct? Then what happens? After that, you die. So why were you alive? So why did you earn the money? A lady says, I got 3 children and I'm taking care of the 3 children and I'm getting all the 3 children educated and finally I'm getting the 3 children married. And then now I'm taking care of my grandchildren and then die. Why were you alive? So we are forgetting there is a purpose. We human beings, being in this material world, we have forgotten the purpose of our life. Why am I born? Why did I come to earth? What was the purpose of this human birth? So when you are on the grid, you evaluate yourself. Now, where is the final? The final is God realization. That's the ultimate. We spoke about it in the call yesterday. Luckily, we finished the talk, but question answers was aborted. So what is this God realization? God realization is not like somebody sitting and saying, I'm waiting for Tirupati Bhagwan to come in the night and give Laddu Prasad and go. And there are people who are still waiting like that. Kya hua? Nahin, main Tirupati gaya. Kya hua? Tirupati Balaji, Lord told, I'm coming tonight. I'm bringing Laddu Prasad for you. And somebody whose wife is too smart, she will bring from Balaji Laddu Prasad and keep on your table. Then you get up in the morning and you be, oh, Lord Tirupati, I was sleeping. Lord Tirupati came and kept Laddu Prasad and I was sleeping. We don't use our brain. We don't use our intellect. Lord Tirupati came and he gave Laddu Prasad. What are you talking? So the problem is this. Are we going to overcome ignorance? Are we going to reach that final God realization? And the God realization comes first with enlightenment. Are you enlightened? So enlightenment is not about, it's not a degree. It's not something, it's not an achievement, right? It's not a qualification on your visiting card. No. So don't write, don't make a card and say Sudeep Bhargava Tattvamasi. No, what is this? Sudeep Bhargava Tattvamasi means what? No, it is not. This is not what you need to do. A person realizes I am that. So you have to go beyond. So Rina, the ultimate on the grid is God realization and enlightenment and realization. At the bottom is ignorance. So you have to see where are you in between. Obviously, people are on this call. They have crossed the first step, second step, third step, fourth step. They have crossed 3, 4, 5 steps. Some people are on the 5th step. Some people are 6th. Some are 7th. Some are 8th. I don't know. Everybody knows what is your inner sense. How much of a realized being you are. How much do you become miserable? How much does the mind make you a monkey? Suppose the mind is making you miserable. Very common. My mind knocks at the door even now, every day. Tuck, 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 mind will come and knock. Then, are you letting the mind in and let the mind will make you a monkey? Or you tell the mind, shh. So, you tell the mind and make the mind quiet. That is the way to go up on the grid, the enlightenment grid. Okay, so there's somebody who's requesting from social media from 2 days. So we'll take this from Achla. What is the best age to get into spirituality? What is the best age to get into spirituality? In this group, we have children of 10 and 11 years who come and ask questions. I think we have members who are present on audio video who are 16 and 17 and 18. And I think there are people who are 80 years old. So what is the best age to get to enlightenment? There is no age. It's a stage. There is no age. It's a stage. You have to get out of the cage. Because as long as you're in the cage, then you will lose your age. And you will never reach that stage. So I like to have rhyming words so you remember in life. I'm very fond of rhyming words, right? So it is not about age. You have to evolve to that stage. And how do you evolve to that stage? You evolve through all these milestones. What we spoke about, ask, investigate, realize. What we spoke about, Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. We spoke about purification, illumination, unification. So that is the way to move forward on this journey. At what age? No. Somebody came and asked me, am I not too young? Yeah, I'm only 22 years old. Yeah? Am I not too young? Should I not have some maja for a few years and then come? Yeah. Gaurish, how old are you, Gaurish? Gaurish?
17, sir.
Gaurish is 17 years old and Gaurish is on this call every day. So Gaurish, what is your experience on this call, Gaurish? Some of you have been kind enough, our team is taking testimonials and some of you have sent very interesting testimonials. Maybe
Yes,
we'll
sir, I'm
play them.
feeling
one of
very
these
good
days.
day by day.
Gaurish, what are you learning from the call?
Yes, sir, I'm learning many things like how to silence my mind and how to be in Satchitanand. Yeah.
So is it helping you?
Yes, sir, it's helping me.
At the age of 17, do you think you're understanding what all this is or it's going over your head?
No, sir, I'm understanding, sir. Like everything, I'm understanding what you're saying. I can understand it.
Thank you, Gaurish. So
Thank you.
Gaurish at the age of 17 is talking about Satchidanand. Some of you who are now, instead of 17, some of you are 71 must be thinking, what did I do when I was 17? Somebody who's 30, 40, 50 years must be thinking, I wasted 20 years. No, don't think like that. Because you can't reverse. You can't reverse your life. Right? So you move forward. I think the next question is from Karthik. Yes, Karthik? Is it Karthik? It's a typed question.
Sir,
Right?
I had typed it.
A typed question, yeah. Okay, Karthik. In science, law of conservation of energy means energy neither can be created or destroyed, but it can be converted one form to another. God is positive energy. So I think God is converted to Jesus, Krishna, Muhammad. At some point of time, when the world is committed to sins, they came for guiding. So we can relate science definition with God. Interesting analogy. But my dear Karthik, please don't think that only Krishna, Jesus, Muhammad is God. Even Karthik is God. Ashok Chotwani is God. Dattatreya is God. Sudeep Bhargava is God. Everybody is a manifestation of God. But we have to understand it in umbrella. So it's very important that we have to realize the point that the law of conservation of energy is fine. The law of conservation of energy says that, what does it say? It says that energy cannot be created or destroyed. It can only be transformed from one form to another, right? But this God energy and energy, all energy, please understand, I'm touching a very important subject today. Please, those of you who would like to catch this, please try and capture this. The point is this: all energy, my dear friends, all energy by itself is God. Any energy is God. So this is a very interesting thing for us to get a grip on. How do we understand this? Very difficult. How do we realize that every energy, scientists say 99.999% of this cosmos is unknown. This is not what I am saying. This is what scientists is saying. And when you ask them, what is this unknown? They say dark matter, gray matter, black matter, some black energy, gray energy. They give some kind of unknown, they give answer which they only don't understand. They only admit, they say we don't understand. So but we understand energy, right? Does anybody doubt the heart that is beating? Touch and see. Can you feel the energy? Can you see the energy in your eye? You remove the eye, just try. Who would like to do it? Please try now. Remove the eye and keep on the table. Just try. It will be just like a marble. It will be nothing more than a marble. When will we realize the power of the divine? When we are talking about this energy, when we are talking about law of thermodynamics, do we even understand? Do we even understand the power of birth? Do we understand how a child is born? Do we understand death? Do we understand who departs at death? When will we understand? After we die. Can you understand after you die? No. But some people right now, Bridget is coming here and Bridget's friend is having coffee in Starbucks. Yeah. Some people think it's important to have coffee in Starbucks. Fine, keep having coffee in Starbucks. But what are you going to find at the end of the day? You can't have coffee because you'll be dead. So my point is that time is short. Correct? And this energy that we are talking about, we have to discover this energy, who we truly are. And if we don't discover this energy, then we are. Next question, please. Gautam. Then we are in trouble. We are in an outdoor setting and suddenly it is raining. So if you notice, we have got an umbrella that's moving around my head. So because I don't want to disturb the scene, but it's not so bad. It is quite comfortable. Gautam. So Gautam says, you told yesterday in Enlightenment Grip number 30, only knowledge we should have, that we should know that we are the divine soul, not the mind, not body. Will appeal to me, to know, is it enough? We should know more than knowledge. Gautam, it is enough if you want to be at level 30. Knowledge is at level 30, Gautam. So you want to be only in 30? Then you will not reach 100, God realization. You will not reach 90, enlightenment. You will not reach 80, realization. I am the divine soul. You will not reach 70, transcending the mind and ego. You will not reach 60, I am not the body. You will not reach 50. I don't know what is 50, but I think 40 is getting a guru. 30 is question and answer. I don't remember the grid still because I'm still learning myself. So some of these things we have ourselves. So Gautam, we need to definitely move forward on the grid, and we must not be stuck at 30. That is the challenge. All right. And we have got Karthik finished? Finished. Okay. So we finished Gautam. So if there's no other live question, we are going on to another question which has come typed. And then finally, the problem is that we will, at the end moment, we'll have 4 questions coming when it's time to close. So anyway, so it's already going to be time to close. So let us take this matter. Why do I matter? Madhavi is asking the question, why do I matter? I am just one insignificant person out of 8 billion. If I die, the world is not going to change. So why do I matter? Interesting question. So I selected it to answer because it's an interesting question. Why do you matter? Because what matters is you. What matters is you. Correct? The point is, 8 billion people don't matter. 8 billion people, what's happening in their life, each one takes care of their life. But Madhavi, you should not think you are insignificant. No. You are not, you are everything. You are, where you are concerned, you are everything. Correct? Samita should not think, I am nothing. Of course, as an individual, you say, Lord, I am nothing. Lord, you are everything. That is a good humility to have. But while we should have humility, we should not forget self-esteem. Self-esteem is respecting that we are a manifestation of God. Ashok Chotwani should understand, Ashok Chotwani, I'm a drop of God. I am a God particle. I am Prabhu. I am not Ashok Chotwani. Ashok Chotwani is just my name. When each one of us, Madhavi, when we realize we are not insignificant, we are very significant. We are very, very, very significant. And we must not underestimate ourselves. Because the moment you underestimate yourself, then you don't matter. So it is up to you not to underestimate, but to respect the divine that lives in the temple of your heart. Sangam Gupta, if possible, please share Zoom meeting recording every day. If we miss any point, we can listen. I think if I'm not mistaken, it is there on Facebook. Every day the Zoom recording is uploaded, and every day these question answers are there in both Facebook and YouTube. I think I am not very active in this, my dear friends, but Next question from Reena. So I am not so active, but definitely I'm told that there is Facebook and there is YouTube uploading every day. I see because of the rain, we are managing this differently, but let me see whether I can read Reena's question. Chat. Yes. How does enlightenment heal one from physical ailments? Reena is asking, how does enlightenment rid one from physical ailments? It's like this. The body will suffer. The body, every body, E-V-E-R-Y, every body, B-O-D-Y, will die. Every body will suffer. Every body will get cuts and eyes will get bad and bones will become weak. This is a fact of life. It may be a man who's the richest man in the world. If he's 100 years old, he can't walk. He'll have arthritis. He'll have some pain. The question, how does enlightenment heal one from physical ailments? You distance yourself from the body. You believe, I am not this, I am in this. Enlightenment makes you realize, I am in this. I'll give you one interesting real life story. About 5 or 6 years back, me and somebody else were in a car accident. And the car accident was so serious that the car got smashed so badly that we have to throw the car. We can't repair it. It got smashed like this. It got completely smashed into like this. The driver, he could not get out because it looked like his legs are cut. The bonnet went and it looked like the driver's half body. There was the whole car smashed into his body like this. And the driver started crying, "Bajao, mar gaya, mar gaya, mar gaya, mar gaya, mar gaya, mar gaya, mar gaya."
You left the
I was
meeting?
in the back. People came and they broke open the door. They broke open the door and I walked out. Nothing happened to me. And I said, I was calm because I was already on that path a little bit at that time. I had not yet reached that level of saying I am not the body, but I was quite calm. And when we broke the car open, the driver, he only had 2 scratches. He walked out. How a person who gets a car accident says, "Mar gaya, mar gaya, mar gaya, I died, I died, I died." But the person who's enlightened, Reena, that person doesn't get affected by physical pain. The body pains, they will said, no, you come to dent, you come and you are so okay. Other people, if I try to drill their mouth, this tooth, not even started. Not even started. He says, so this is fear. And I'm sure some of you have experienced this. You're so scared of the dentist. I know people who have not gone to dentist for 4 years after having an infected tooth because they're scared of dentist. Dentophobia. They've got what's called dentophobia. So, my dears, enlightenment liberates us from not the sickness of the body, but the suffering that we experience because we think we are the body that is sick. So I think last question I'm having from Karthik. We'll close with that. Does lust, duty, laziness, and other stuff stop from enlightenment grid? Of course. Of course. If you have lust, it will pull you back. If you are lazy, it will pull you back. So you need to have the positive qualities to move forward. My dear friends, before I close, the enlightenment journey is just like the achievement journey. What is the achievement journey? You know, people in this world, they want money. More money, more money, more money, more money. You got our own examples of what they call Ambani and Adani and some like the Anis, many. Huh? So I also used to be Melwani, and all these, everybody only wants money and money and money. And the more Ani you are, they say the more money you have. But the point is this achievement journey is a blind journey. We reach nowhere. We keep on climbing. One day we reach the cliff, we die, and it's over. Immediately, the people who get our money, they start having party. Huh? The children, the father dies, the next day the child is buying a new Ferrari car, 5 crores. Yeah, because the son did not work. The son did not do any hard work. Suddenly father died, he got lottery. Somebody came and told him, you got 50 crores. He said, tomorrow buy Ferrari, 5 crores. My point is, this journey takes us nowhere. The journey of enlightenment takes us to that ultimate state of happiness, that ultimate state of Satchidananda, that ultimate state of peace. There are so many people who are suffering. As they grow older and older. I know many people I know people who are 80 years old. They don't know the meaning of life. They don't know the spelling of life, which means they don't know even the ABC of life. They don't even understand the law of karma. People don't understand what's karma. Who has karma? Who will die? Who will be reborn? Nothing. So, my dear friends, this is the journey we are on. We are on this journey of enlightenment. We are on the journey of realization of the truth. We are on the journey to have self-realization and God realization. But more of it tomorrow when we meet at 8. I bow down to you. I thank you. Shivoham. Shivoham.